The next DLC for the alternate realities set Atomic Heart will be upping the ante when it comes to the strange world in Trapped in Limbo. Set to release on February 6th, it picks up where the last campaign left off, but continues a different ending than the previous DLC, Annihilation Instinct. Previously teased, the Limbo world adds a new area to explore, giving further challenges with its unique Limbo style. Now guessing the official name of Trapped in Limbo means players will be fighting to figure out how to escape the twisted world. Things are on the up as players will need to ascend the towering world in what appears to be a new set of altered game rules. There are new weapons, enemies, and secrets to uncover from P3's past. Trapped in Limbo looks to gain its inspiration from platformers in games such as Super Mario or Crash Bandicoot. Players will need to jump, run, slide, as well as fight their way through these levels to collect apples. Apples will grant skill unlocks and weapons, which will come in handy to fight whatever is waiting for you. Gold coins also give players access to 7 skins for the main campaign of the game. For more details on any news mentioned in this video, the link is in the description below. Celebrating the festive season, Lords of the Fallen gets into the Christmas spirit by adding seasonal decorations, expanded spells, new projectiles, and boss weapon abilities. If you thought the dual world Vaxim and Umbral in Lords of the Fallen were missing out on the holiday season, you'd be wrong. Developer Hexworks are in the giving mood, not only adding a new patch update, but a host of goodies now available. In the first update titled Offering of Rares, players will be greeted with Spell Pack 2, which marks the second post-release bundle of spells to the game. These include Brother Knight's Radiant Shield Throw and the option to shoot icicles from your fingertips. How frosty. If you were hoping to have some new boss weapon abilities from Santa, well, Xmas has come early. The Light Reaper's dual blades and Pieta, as well as Alien's sword combo plus the stick had secret abilities. The devs are still working on adding secret abilities for all the boss weapons in the game. You can also check out the festively decorated vestiges that have popped up in the game. Probably by the time this video is out, players will be able to have access to the Trial of the Three Spirits. This will add 3 further questlines, such as the 3 new armor sets as well as 3 new weapons. Each of these represents one of the 3 factions, Radiance, Rogar, and Umbral. More will be revealed as to what players will need to do in order to gain these rewards. You can also welcome the Mirror of Distortion. If you've been waiting to alter your character's physical appearance, the new feature can be unlocked with a questline that can adjust everything from body shape to facial features. Remember, you can always drop by our Lords of the Fallen wiki for all the latest info. Larian Studios has been in the news a lot lately with the recent wins for Baldur's Gate 3 during the award season, as well as there are rumours whether or not the game will be eventually coming to Xbox Game Pass. The CRPG's release on Xbox had a few hiccups but was finally unleashed on the platform this month. This led many to believe that the game could be joining Microsoft's subscription service for Xbox and PC. However, in a recent interview with the CEO of Larian, Sven Vinnick, with IGN, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. When asked about whether Baldur's Gate 3 would be coming to Game Pass, he stated that they had already decided beforehand that the game would not be coming to the subscription service. Vinnick went on to say that the studio developed a big game which is set at a fair price for what people pay for. He also went on to argue that the game doesn't contain any microtransactions, as in you get what you pay for. The game does have hundreds of hours of content with a great sense of replayability. The game also has received a new honor mode recently, which adds further challenge through its light permadeath mode and new epilogue. As for what will be up next, well, we may have had a small clue and something very different from Larian's CRPG wheelhouse. Vinnick is working on a fishing game. As to whether this will be a laid-back fishing sim, or maybe we'll just have to catch some horrific mine tadpoles, is uncertain. New details have been released for the upcoming title, Shiren the Wanderer, the Mystery Dungeon of Serpent Coil Island, on its online features that lets players go on rescue missions to save others. According to the new details, if your character gets their HP down to 0, they'll be given up to 3 chances to have a rescue mission. If successful, they'll be brought back without losing any items or starting over. This means other players can opt in to join a rescue mission, either by using a rescue ID or answering one of the missions on the rescue board. These can be players from anywhere in the world. If you prefer to save yourself though, there is a self-rescue feature. Also detailed was the parallel play feature. This allows players to create a parallel ID at any point within the dungeon. This will create an exact copy of the current playthrough, including everything from dungeon structures to enemy positioning. Other players will access the parallel ID, will be able to experience the dungeon from the exact moment the ID was made. In case you missed it, Shiren the Wanderer, the Mystery Dungeon of Serpent Coil Island, will be a high risk, high reward kind of game. If you fail, you will lose all your gear and levels, essentially starting over your run at level 1. The game teases a rise and rise again approach, meaning battling and finally succeeding. The entry sets to put things back to basics of the series and features turn-based combat. Shiren the Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpent Coral Island, will be heading to Switch on February 27th in 2024. The title Sea of Stars that won the Best Indie category during the Game Awards 2023 is now celebrating 4 million players since its launch. The indie RPG, developed by Sabotage Studio, has shared the announcement about the turn-based game's Milestone over on Twitter. The game has not only been gaining accolades in only the gaming industry awards, but went on also to be recognised as one of the top 60 best games of 2023 by the BAFTAs. That's the British Academy Film and Television Awards. In case you missed it, Sea of Stars was kickstarted as a pixel graphic RPG with turn-based combat that launched this year on August 29th. It's inspired by classic turn-based RPGs, but brings its own exploration twist with options to not only explore on foot, but swim, climb, and even jump. There's even more to look forward to in the game as the DLC called Throes of the Watchmaker is in development. Sea of Stars is currently available on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. If you've yet to try out the game, there's currently a demo over on Steam. Developer False Prophet has dropped a major second update for the tactical RPG, which is now called Beast False Prophet. Previously just named Beast, the game is currently in early access, but before its 1.0 release next year, the developer has released a big patch. The second major update brings new missions, foes, and visual enhancements. The recent update now allows players to run through the game from start to finish, with a playthrough taking roughly about 40 hours. The game will continue to receive bug fixes and additional improvements as it edges its way into full launch in 2024. There is also the addition of new cutscenes, a new camp, further maps, and an alternative beast mode transformation that players can gain from investing in the Exercise Beast Tree. You can check out some of the new additions and updates in the latest trailer, which shows the warband fighting through some of the maps. The game released in early access earlier this year in October, featuring gridless combat and mixes in some brutal battles. Monster Hunter Wilds is now officially up for wishlisting over on Steam and the PlayStation 5 store. Monster Hunter Wilds is still at least a year away from launching, but that doesn't mean that Capcom isn't raring to go with the latest entry in the franchise. Announced during the Game Awards, Wilds will be coming to PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series in 2025. There is currently very little info on the store pages at the moment, except for the initial announcement, trailer, and a few screenshots. You can, however, now add the game to your wishlist so you don't miss a thing. This year's Game Awards was jam-packed with not only awards but announcements, one of them being the reveal of the next major Monster Hunter in the series, Wilds. Unlike the previous title, Monster Hunter Rise, Wilds won't be released as a platform exclusive at launch. There's not many details out yet for the game, but the trailer does share a few tidbits such as monster riding, gliding, and some tumultuous weather. Are you excited for Monster Hunter Wilds? Let us know. Newly revealed this week was some gameplay for the action RPG The Relic The Thirst Guardian. Set to release sometime in 2025, the RPG is set in a post-apocalyptic fantasy world that players can explore while encountering an action-packed experience. The game is being developed by a Korean-based studio called Project Cloud Games, and sets to be their first title. It will be published under Perp Games. The trailer shows some of the combat, which is fast-paced and visceral. It also goes on to introduce 5 different weapon types: one-handed swords with shields, battle staves, long swords, daggers, and two-handed weapons. The 5 base weapons determine the overall combat, however it can be tailored to your playstyle. There are also universal skills that players can adopt no matter the weapon choice. Players will set off on a valiant quest as the final guardian striving to save the world, which has been shrouded in darkness. Arsiltis, once a thriving realm, was consumed by the abyss formed from the wreckage of the Grand Relic. Your current objective is to locate the fragments of the shattered Grand Relic and seal the void. Project Cloud promises in-depth gameplay with thrilling battles to be had. Environments are interactable, which should keep things interesting. As the game sets to release in 2025, development is still early on, but what do you think of the footage so far? Let us know in the comments below. Well, that's it for the Week in the Wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.